Hello everybody and welcome back to Full Court Press. This last week of Rec Ball has been very eventful to say the least. Starting off with the first game of the day, we have Team Rams taking it by 1 point against Team Calderon. And this was a highly anticipated game for us. Some people were saying that if we lose this game then we'd be frauds, and they were right, so.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting game. I thought Team Calderon was the better team for pretty much the majority of what I saw. I thought they kind of choked at the end, but how about Daniel Tesora hitting a clutch free throw to give him that 1 point lead and seal the deal for you guys?
I feel like we kept the lead for most of the first half, but then in the start of the second half they started to come back, and Joel going off, Vincent having 15. They're pretty good. They're the Splash Brothers. You know what I mean? Like they're definitely one of the better duos of the league.
I'm very disappointed in your offense. Like, once again, not seeing Mikey really involved much going forward. He needs to put up more shots, get more opportunities. I remember last year he was like the underclassman of the year, I believe, or at least a candidate. And this year he's just, not really involved in your offense, unfortunately. And you guys are definitely frauds.
Yeah, I have to agree with Tommy. You guys are frauds, especially with like Cooper, JJ's defense. Well, it does say that he had 8. I expect more out of him. I expect steals to be on the Facebook.
He had 11 steals.
He had 11?
Yeah, that's what he
Oh,
said.
I take it back, JJ. Good work. Continue to be a dog. I also see Rahim with the tech. Do you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, it was just a bad move on me. I'm going to take this time to apologize to Team Calderon, Ben Freeberg, and the refs. I'm sorry that I pushed that kid. It was a very poor move by me. So
Yeah, that was one of, I believe, 3 techs this weekend, so be careful when you're playing out there. But I got to say, Team Alexander, it's hard to watch you guys because it seems like such selfish play. You just run up, run down the court and take a shot. There's not too much ball movement, so I really want to see that more out of you guys in the future. But also Team Calderon, obviously Vincent and Joel have been great all year, but they need a third guy.
Yeah.
Luke Hadley put up 6 this week. He's a real big guy. I've seen him play. He was pretty good against us. I know he can put up way more. They need to get more people involved if they want to go far.
Exactly, because I think when the playoffs happen, often what you see is those 2 stars will get double teamed, and it's going to rely on the other guys to really perform.
one thing I want to shed some light on is Calderon's defense. They run a 1-3-1, same as Naji, and their trapping scheme is pretty good. Like having Hadley roaming the paint and Logan Much also down low. Sometimes Joe Furbush gets in there, and they're all great defenders, and their scheme is pretty tight, so good on them. Next game of the day is McGinn Lombardo versus LaLasha Mccalla. Honestly, a very close game, not what we expected. Mccalla is sort of on the comeback. I think it's Jay's injury that put them back on the map.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by this game. All week I was saying I was going to bet the house on Team Lombardo McGinn. And while they did win, it was certainly close. I thought LaLasha Mccalla was the better team for most of the game. If Jared didn't have an all-star MVP performance, I thought they would have lost that game. I will say Andrew Corshane stepped up big time in the absence of Jay, and I thought their ball movement improved a lot this week. I thought they had a lot of moments with really good passing.
Oh, yeah.
And Thomas Cashman played great defense. Ari had 7 points, but from what I saw, he wasn't too much of a factor in that game. So I think you might have to put Cashman potentially in the deep boy category.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ari got shut down for the first week. And as you see, Michael's not on the score sheet. Tommy dropping 9, which is not good for him. Ari dropping 7, his lowest performance of the season. They got clamped up. And then Jared Gang comes in at the end, puts on takeover mode, and just wins the game for them, seals it up.
All right, I'm going to ignore that subtle disrespect right there.
Yeah, you have no room to talk.
Yeah.
Especially after that
I'm
tech.
saying that Tommy,
And those layups in crunch time, let's just forget about them.
Tommy usually drops more, so 9 points is not good for him. Although,
All right. Anyways, I think Jared definitely had an MVP caliber performance. He really lit it up at the end of the game. We really needed that. I agree that we were probably the worst team for the majority of this game. But you have to give credit where credit's due. Drew Gray, the coach, along with his 5 other coaches he had in this game, really had a great scheme going. The ball movement was great, and they were just destroying our 2-3 zone. Give props to them.
Yeah, it's really good to see Spidey stepping up when Jay is out and Matab coming out 9 points. It's a pool party, I guess.
No, that's
Not his best showing.
It's not?
Michael had 9
Yeah,
points.
Matab had
Oh,
3.
Matab, no pool party, my bad.
Matab was 1 for 12.
Oh.
Yeah, he went about 1 for 9 on the same spot
Don't
of the
worry,
3-point
get him back in
line.
blood.
He'll be back next week. Not his best performance.
My bad, Michael. My bad.
He caught a little bit of slack from his own teammate in the Facebook, Andrew
Andrew
Corshane.
Corshane just called him out straight up.
I'm a little worried about this the team chemistry, but we'll have to see what that's going forward.
Spidey believes he's setting a tone. And you could see his spider senses were on this game. He had, not only did he have 13 points, he also had a number of assists. I saw the way he was playing offense, the way he was clamping up on defense was great to see. And Matab needs to for sure get back in blood.
One thing we need to mention is Michael Lombardo. He definitely did. His injury definitely affected him this game, but you can't give full excuses, obviously, but that definitely affected it. I would also like to mention, Jaden Thomas is also a huge factor in this game. Their depth is really insane. They just have guys that come off the bench. You wouldn't really expect it, will just drain like 3 threes in a row or get a huge rebound or something.
Yeah, I think this was a big showing for a team, Lusher Mccalla. We've been calling them frauds. Oh, they're garbage. They were ranked number 1 in the preseason, and they're 1-3. But I think that was an impressive performance for them, and I think they actually have a pretty good future.
I think having Jay as a coach also helped them out. Helping Drew out with that offensive scheme. They just looked better out there all around. So next game of the day, it was Meyer taking the win over Breen. And let me just say this, Meyer is the most fraudulent 3-1 team of the whole season so far. They've had the most Mickey Mouse schedule, but they're 3-1, so what can I say,
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch this game. They played at the same time as us, but a couple things I noticed. Max Dulé had all of Team Breen's points in the first half of that game. That's not a good sign, obviously. Great to him. He put up 19 this week. You played a great game, but you can't have one player scoring all your points for a whole half of a game. And Team Meyer, another big win for them, but I'm a little concerned about them. They have yet to put up 40 points in a game this season. Maybe that shows that their defense is really good. They don't need to score to win, but I don't know. I think they got to worry about the offense.
I believe Jake also got injured, towards the end of the game. He sprained his ankle or something, so that's definitely not a good sign for them.
I think that both of these teams are kind of fraudulent in a way. I think Team Meyer gets more respect than they should. Their defense is pretty much just a 2-3 zone. You have Jake and David pretty much carrying them in offense. You never really see a great third option, which is unfortunate because I think Eli really has some talent, but he's just not being super involved in this offense really.
And Eli did play today, or he did.
Yeah,
play
he did play. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Tim Breen was the underclassman of the year last year, and he's just not showing out for his team. He needs to step it up a little bit. Max Dulé scoring half their points is definitely not what they want. More than half their points is definitely not what they want to see.
Yeah, week to week, seeing David and Jake is good, double digits, but like you guys said, looking for that third scorer to step up. Maybe it's Matty Berger. Maybe it's Sean Levine. Labio's got all the weapons on Team Meyer.
I believe Team Meyer has also a harder opponent next week, so we'll look to see if they're frauds or not.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Next game, pretty interesting game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Henderson Levesque taking the win pretty easily over Team Last with the limited Brady. Jake, you want to shed some light on this game?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say pretty easily. I thought that would kind of be a cupcake game for us, but it wasn't. I was a little bit concerned going in 3 minutes of the game. I saw our big lead rapidly decreasing. I think our mindset in that game wasn't right. I said literally last episode that game was going to be a piece of cake. I think we just went into it with the feeling that we're going to win this game by 100, and obviously we didn't. So credit to Team Last. I thought their offense really isn't good. I think they score all their points from their defense, but I give a lot of credit to their defense. They play really aggressive 2-3 zone, very physical. I don't think they always know what a foul is, but they're very physical, and I respect them for that. But one thing I want to mention is Ndi Awika putting up 8 this week, had a couple of big shots, and he also had a great game on defense. And Lucas also with a couple of threes with 6. I feel like our young guys are really just clicking. It seems like every week on here I'm mentioning a new young guy on our team that had a great game. So I'd be scared for us.
Hot take.
I think
Pretty out there.
seeing Jake score 12 points again is really great. Probably the most consistent player in rec ball.
Literally, he's averaging 11 points per game.
Yeah,
Hasn't
most
dropped
consistent role
anything.
player in the league.
Role
Well,
player's crazy.
if I could make some free throws, it would have been in the 20s, but that's unfortunate.
How many did you miss?
I went 2 for 11.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
That's
so
rough.
not my
That's
best
rough.
I've been there.
performance.
It's okay.
One thing I need to see from Team Henderson is I need to see Sean really scoring a little more. Going into the season, I really thought he was going to be like their third option, but that's not really been the case this season. I want to see him, getting more shots, being more aggressive, and I just don't know about your offense really, because other than you and Brady, I just don't see like a clear cut or like really great third option. Like you said, you have your young guys who will go game for game, get some nice plays, but I just don't see really that third option.
I think their third guy is going to turn into Noah Norse. He's really like a two-way player. He's nice and tall, so he can make the lays down low, and he can also send a shot back on defense. So I'd like to see him step in and score more than 6. And he definitely can.
Yeah, he put up 12 last week. I mean, I've seen him in practice, and I've seen him in the games. He's a really good player. 6th-round draft pick, maybe the best value pick in the draft. Watch out for him in the coming weeks.
Just one more thing. It just seems like without Brady, your offense was kind of stagnant. It was kind of hard to watch the game for a little bit because, you would try to get up and down the court, make some plays for your teammates, but nothing would click, and then you get down the floor and you cover last who's missing shots, and you come right back down. It was pretty scoreless for a good part of that game. So
Yeah, congrats on the win, but they were all fast break layups.
Yeah,
I have
it-
to say.
Mickey Mouse.
It was
when
a
you guys
fast
set up
break
the
heavy
offense,
game.
you did not score. Off the,
Well,
off the
we
press,
scored a couple of times,
but not 42 points worth.
I think we definitely helped out with the fact that Team Last really has no setup offense at all. I'm pretty sure they scored almost all their points of transition. I know Brendan Estefan, he kind of turned it up occasionally, but it's only one guy. He can't do everything. I thought Hunter played a really good game as well. He had a couple good offensive moments. Played great on defense. Kind of shut me down at the end of the game. That was fun for both of us. But I don't know. I mean, I think there's a reason Team Last is in last place because they just really don't have an offense.
Yeah.
Hunter's a very underrated player. Look for him on the come up.
Yeah, Trevor Lane sneaking into the score sheet with a sneaky
Don't
7.
know how he scored 7.
I saw him drain a 3.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
I'd like to see him keep it up. It's very fun to watch Team Last,
Very,
I have to say.
very energetic player on the
Oh
court
yeah,
as well.
for sure.
All right, next game, we have Team Naji Steinberg just taking care of business as usual against Barry Barr. Naji with a common 14-piece. Greg and Nate Schmidt, I believe, both dropping 10. I didn't see this game. It was at the same time as my game, so
Yeah, I walked into the gym mid-second quarter, and it was a 3-point game, but Team Barry Barr was winning. I was shocked to find that out. And it was a much closer game than the score sheet really shows.
I also watched this game with Jake. I think it was like the third or start of the fourth quarter, I believe. I could be wrong. That they kind of really took it off. The score sheet does not give Team Barry Barr the justice they deserve. They put up a great fight. He interviewed Coach Naji at halftime. He said, we really just don't match up well against this team. But I think that's kind of an excuse because if you're the number 1 team in the league, you should be able to match up against anybody. But yet again, you just see Team Naji absolutely just taking care of business here.
Yeah, I mean, he also said they had bad passing and they just weren't hitting any shots. And then the second half, they really started to hit the shots, and I think that's where they really started to take off. Once again, the 1-3-1 was so deadly. But the thing I love watching this team because you just never know who's going to score. Like, for instance, how about Vomsey putting up 7 this week? I mean, their whole team, I feel like, has been on the score sheet. Like, it's just so exciting
You
to
love to
see
see it.
who on their team has that
Absolutely.
big impact game. Obviously, Connor, Greg, and Andy usually are leading the team, but not always. Like Nate Schmidt with 10 points. I mean, they're just such a deep team.
can't forget about Ishan, the Hall of Fame facilitator.
Absolutely. First quarter weapon.
Okay, wait. About this game, too, I talked to Rob Naji after the game. He said that the way they just took it over in the second half, Barry Barr doesn't really have a ball handler type guy, so they just pressed them. They pressed them all the second half, and then they just ran away with it. So, good coaching by him.
Yeah, what I think is most impressive is that OT only had 12 points. And that's like very low for him. Like he's used to like 17, 18. And I don't know if he took my teammate grade comment to heart, but
He seems very point-oriented in his game.
oh, he was? I'd love to see him get back into like the high 10s, like 17, 18. But I wonder if it's just the 1-3-1.
Yeah, also a great game from James Berry. But the one thing I will say about Team Berry Barr is there were moments where they would sub out Owen, James, and Colin all at the same time, arguably their 3 best players. And I think when you're all off the court, you just allow Team Naji to go on a huge run. They would go on like 10-point runs during that time period. So I think they got to have a little bit smarter coaching than that. So I think you got to have at least one of those guys on the floors at all time.
Great analysis, Jake. So now, Team Martin versus Team Cespedes. I'm gonna start off with a cold take, an ice cold take. This is the game of the year. This game was insane to watch. Double overtime, a rare tie ending, 57-57. Rahul with crazy last second shots.
Pull up! Three. Go!
Yeah, this game was all around great to watch. Cespedes is a very sneaky defensive team. One of the better defensive teams in the league, headed by Juju and Drew Shenoy. Drew Shenoy has been great on defense. Camden putting up 18-2. That's a great game for him. He's one of the most underrated players of this league. So, Jake, you want to take it away?
Yeah, this is my first time I was able to actually watch Team Cespedes, and they're really exciting. They play great defense. Mr. Cespedes is maybe putting on a Coach of the Year campaign right now. They have a lot of great defensive players. Drew was talking to me a lot after the game, mentioned me on the podcast, say I'm in the deep point conversation. And I got to say, he did really play a great defensive game. Also, Rahul played amazing. He was just unstoppable. Like, even 5 seconds to go, double OT. He just did a spin move through like 3 guys, put up a layup. They're really fun to watch. I think that they remind me a lot of Team Henderson last year, our championship-winning team. No seniors, great coaching, and they play great defense. So watch out for them.
All right, I have a couple points here. One, shout out Cam. Brady called him out last week, told him to step up. He handled the business. He did it. 18, very impressive for him. Also, I think Rahul, he has to be in the conversations for MVP right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's arguably top 4, I would say, team. And when you have one of the best teams and you're putting up those kind of numbers, being the number 1 guy, you had to be in those conversations. And my last point I want to make about this game is, AJ probably won't say it, but this team definitely fouls a lot, and they're like one of the teams you don't really want to play because they're going to be so physical. We talked about it, they're kind of just like a football team. But yeah.
Yeah, if I recall right, at the end of the first quarter, we were in the double bonus, and same in the third quarter. And what's really crazy is that nobody on Team Cespedes fouled out. So I don't know if it's great coaching or a little slip up in the score sheet, but yeah, it was pretty impressive. At least 20 fouls and nobody fouls out.
Seemed a little salty though.
Yeah, it was not one of my better games to say the least. Shout out to Rahul and Drew for their trap on the 3-2. It definitely got to me.
Yeah. How about holding Brendan Martin? We talked about MVP.
Absolutely.
Him only putting up 13. Obviously that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I would love to have a 13-point game, but you see him putting up 20 all the time. So I thought Julian did a really good job on him down low.
Julian's sneaky deep point candidate. I was watching the fourth quarter and overtime especially. Julian was just clamping up Brendan. I think he went like 1 for 5 or something.
Yeah, he's a really underrated big man. Watch out for him.
Yeah, they practiced right before us Thursday nights, and at the beginning of our practice, him and Julian always have a one-on-one. So we finally saw it, and I think that Julian won it. Honestly, on the defensive side, he only scored 9 on offensive, but he definitely took Brendan off his game. So shout out to Julian.
Also, 9 is a good game too.
Shout out John Colburn as well, underclassman of the year in my opinion.
Lock.
So he put up 12. He's so quick. He just drives the hoop so easily. He's just really a fun player to watch.
John definitely has a deep bag. but someone who doesn't have a deep bag is Rahul. You know exactly what he's going to do when he runs down the court, but he somehow gets you
Once
every
again,
time.
crazy disrespect.
Yeah,
No,
Ryan,
but
you
I'm
gotta
saying
chill
that.
out. You gotta
He
chill
somehow
out.
gets you every time with the spin move. I don't know, like, you can't stop him.
I mean,
it's his length
putting up
on his legs.
19 against a good defensive team like Martin. I mean, how can you hate on him?
Exactly.
He does the job.
I'm not trying to
good.
decredit his 19 points, but it was not a good defensive showing. Mr. Martin was very angry with us. We started off in a zone, it wasn't working, we switched to a man, and then we were losing our assignments. So it really wasn't a good defensive game for us, but props to him for 19.
All right, and I think that's it for this week of Full Court Press. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the TBA's Game of the Week. It will be Martin versus Naji. So that's going to be a great game, and take it easy. Have a great day.
All right, do it one more time. But really just give that oomph.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
What's
All right, we're
good,
good.
everybody?
Let's go.
What's good, everybody? I hope you're having a
Alright,
freaking good day.
Dude, did your mic fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
You just gotta go through it sometimes, you know?
Oh my
Be
god.
professional.
You played that out well. You played that out
Yeah.
well.